Uproar at ESPN. Leaked audio reveals a disgruntled white reporter's anger over a black colleague's promotion. ESPN executives have long called NBA and NFL reporter Maria Taylor a rising star. Well, now Taylor's co-worker, NBA sideline reporter Rachel Nichols, is seemingly discounting her hard work and commitment to her craft. In July of last year, Nichols got on a call with LeBron James' longtime advisor Adam Mendelsohn after the network told her Taylor would be hosting coverage of the NBA Finals instead of her. Their conversation was accidentally recorded and stored on one of ESPN's servers. During the call, Nichols said Taylor was only being promoted because the network was, quote, feeling pressure about diversity. But maybe the worst part of the 20-minute recording comes when Nichols and Mendelsohn laugh about, quote, being exhausted by the Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter. And joining me now from Los Angeles to discuss the leak of that very controversial conversation is Leonard Jr. Yes, he is the son of boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard, but also a successful businessman in his own right. He's been a Division I college athlete in 2 sports. He's also a sports agent for some of the biggest names around. And he also happens to be a motivational speaker. Welcome back to BNC, Ray. Good to speak with you again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Warren. Good to see you again.
Thank you. So let's talk about this recording. Wow, this is something else. Does this mean, do you think, that Rachel Nichols is a bigot or just simply competitive? What do you think about this?
Well, it was interesting and disappointing to hear that because Rachel Nichols and I went to high school together. We graduated the same year. So I've known her for years and years, and I've never known her to be a bigoted person or a racist person. And it was disappointing to hear that. And I think it comes down to a thought process of privilege that Maria Taylor, who's dope, Rachel is dope, at what they do. And it's just, I think it's a thing of privilege of saying that someone didn't deserve the job or because you didn't get the job, that it was because of race. And it was very disappointing to hear that.
Yeah. Have you reached out to her at all to talk to her about this?
No, it's still early, and I wanted to gather all the information before having the opportunity to speak with her. I'm sure her team is at it trying to do damage control. ESPN, I think that puts them in a bad light as well, for saying if she has to be one of the people that say that they had terrible issues with diversity. I think there's more of an internal look between her and between the ESPN that needs to be had before I even have a conversation with either of them.
I mean, you know her personally, and you say, you don't recall her, indicating that she had any type of issues. So what do you even say to her?
When you're having conversations like that, and it's tough because in a conversation where you think you're not being recorded, your true sometimes thought processes come out, and I would advise her to be able to look at the plight of Black women or in a male-dominated industry, and just say here's a thought process. Can you look at her and say that you want to judge her on her own merits? Because I'm sure you were judged as a woman coming in to be a sports reporter, and for you to have that thought process and say that it's very disturbing. So I mean it's surprising that we hear that. But when the mic's turned off and people are behind the scenes, you hear a lot of crazy things out here in Hollywood. So I'm never surprised, but it's disappointing.
Yeah, and what do you think about these players who are coming out actually in support of Rachel, saying, well, she has experienced issues being a woman, as you said, being a woman in that field as well. So what do you think about those players who are actually supporting her?
I think they're supporting her because they may know her history, and this is my personal opinion, but I think it's short-sighted to have that, talk that early, to be out there and saying different things when you don't know the full extent of the story. So, I mean, I know many of the players have been interviewed by her. They may know her personally, like I do, and don't think that it was, that she has maliciousness from what she was saying. But I mean, you can't discount what was said. And there may be some true bias there, And it's disturbing. So I mean, from the player's standpoint, I don't think you want to jump out there that early before you know the full story.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say you're an executive at ESPN. What would you do? Would you fire her? Would you call her out? Would you make her do training? How on earth would you handle this situation?
For me, I'm not for the cancel culture to just cancel somebody. I think it's a learning opportunity. I would probably make her work with Maria on a sideline, and make her work with her, and have
Mm.
to be face to face with the person that you were talking about that you didn't think deserved the position out of their own merits. I think that will create a whole different thought process in her head about how she responds in the future. So, I wouldn't be for firing her right off the top. Um, if there was a longer history of this, something that was deep down in her soul that we can find from an investigation, this is something that's a pattern, then yeah, then maybe we look at that. But I think the best solution would be having her and Maria work together.
Ray, you're very diplomatic, along with all of your other many talents. Diplomacy is certainly something you should think about. But thank you so much for that. And please tell your dad hello and tell him to come see us here on BNC and welcome. You're also welcome back anytime.